Good morning, members of the media, wider viewing and listening public of Trinidad and Tobago. I'd like to thank you all, as usual, for making yourselves available in such a short time frame and for allowing me the opportunity to be able to address a wider audience through you here this morning. There are really two issues that I've asked you all to come here to allow me the opportunity to address. The first issue, and they're interrelated. The first issue is that on Saturday, the 27th of June, there was an incident that took place in the Movar area where there were fatalities with 3 of our citizens ending up deceased from actions by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. So that's the first incident I'd like to address. So what we all became aware of on Saturday was that there was a TTPS incident in Movar that led to the death of 3 of our citizens. Shortly thereafter, we had the Commissioner of Police come out and say that there will be a thorough police investigation. I was in conversation with the Commissioner of Police very early on Sunday morning with respect to the incident that first came to my attention as Minister of National Security on Saturday evening. Shortly thereafter, we had the PCA, the Police Complaints Authority, which is a statutory body charged with the responsibility of dealing with complaints with respect to the police service, come out and say that they were launching their own investigation with respect to this incident where 3 persons lost their lives. I then spoke to the Commissioner of Police, who said that the Director of the PCA, Mr. West, had been in contact with him and that the police would be fully complying with any requests as part of that investigative process by the PCA. I have today taken the precaution, as is my nature, to call the Director of the PCA myself, just so that I would be able to give the assurance to our citizens and to the public that the Police Complaints Authority has in fact launched an investigation. I have spoken to Mr. West and he has given me that assurance. So the first issue that I'd like to address is that we are aware that there was this incident in Movar where 3 persons lost their lives at the hands of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We do not have all of the facts. We've seen what is circulating, meaning the video, and the 2 bodies that are charged with the responsibility to investigate incidents such as this, the police service as well as the Police Complaints Authority, which is an independent body, have commenced their investigations. And I have asked both of them to do so thoroughly, to the best of their ability, and with the level of independence that we the citizens expect of these bodies in these types of situations. What I'd also like to use the opportunity to ask is anyone who has any information that would be of use in this situation to please come forward and provide it to the Police Complaints Authority. The Police Complaints Authority has a very, very robust process where persons are protected, persons are able to give their evidence or to give information that can then lead to a more thorough investigation to the PCA. So I'm pleading that anyone who has any information with respect to this incident, please come forward and participate in the process by providing that information to the Police Complaints Authority in a protected manner so that a thorough investigation may take place. Because at the end of the day, that is what we, the law-abiding citizens, want. We want a thorough investigation. It is not for us to play judge or jury and to decide who was right, who was wrong in these situations. However, we are all aware that this situation took place, that there was a loss of 3 lives of our citizens. And what I'm informing the public here today is that having spoken to the authorities, that is the Commissioner of Police and the Director of the Police Complaints Authority, they are both conducting investigations and they will be very thorough investigations. The last part of my plea with respect to that is that anyone who has any information to please come forward and provide it to the Police Complaints Authority so that we can ensure that whatever is the truth in this matter will be the prevailing factor at the end of the day. That's the first incident that I first first matter that I wanted to deal with this morning. The second issue is that we've all woken up today and we're seeing certain disturbances taking place in and around the outskirts of Port of Spain, and in particular East Port of Spain. And it pains me in particular because just a couple days ago, in my other cap, in my other role as a Member of Parliament for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, I was walking up in Quarry Street, Basselon Street and these areas and seeing what the people have to offer, seeing what our law-abiding citizens in East Port of Spain, and I now understand some of it has spread to Belmont, seeing that there's positive, seeing that there's progress that can be made, hoping to work with these communities, continue working with them. But what we've woken up to this morning is very, very disturbing, and I've come to address that here today. There are a number of incidents that have been taking place from about 8 o'clock this morning on the east of Port of Spain, certain areas, Pesor Street, at the Abattoir Road, Beetham, other areas up in John, etc. And this is not what we expect of our law-abiding citizens. I understand persons being emotional, etc. But what is very disturbing is that these obviously orchestrated attempts that are now spreading are just that. The information that has come to hand is that these are being orchestrated. Persons on the ground have personally contacted me to say money is being paid to persons to go out and to create disturbance. This is not what we expect of our citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. A very disturbing part of what I see and what you all are all seeing as going on is also that persons are actually using the opportunity to shoot at our law enforcement officers. There have been incidents of sporadic shooting at our Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Early this morning, I was in contact with the Commissioner of Police, and still am, as well as the Chief of the Defence Staff, the Director of our Intelligence Services, getting briefed. The Defence Force are going to provide full support to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and we are going to protect all of our law-abiding citizens, regardless of where you are. I am denouncing and condemning the criminal elements who are using the opportunity. And one asks the question, who is it that is stirring up the criminal elements to use this opportunity as well? That is one of the parts that disturbs me. I understand peaceful protests. I understand people being emotionally upset about the incident that may have taken place on Saturday. But it has become very obvious very quickly, as a result of human intelligence provided and other means of intelligence, that many of these incidents in particular, the shooting in particular, some of the protests that are not peaceful, are being stirred by the criminal elements in our society. And one is asking the question now, and I've asked the question and asked for reports on who is behind the stirring up of the criminal elements. When we're getting reports from the ground of people being paid to go and create disturbance, who is it that are paying people? Who is it that stands to gain by disrupting the peace and quiet of our city of Port of Spain? And the message is that it will not be tolerated. So I'm asking all of our law-abiding citizens, please, there are ways that we can voice our concerns. And I respect that. We in the government respect that. And we welcome it, those who want the opportunity to peacefully voice their concerns. But once persons step over the line, do not be used by the criminal elements. And the criminal elements in our society, as I repeat, and I've said it here at this table before, are not always those who we call gang members. So that is a serious concern. It is something that national security is addressing. The police service, the defense force, our intelligence services have also been in contact with the chief fire officer, as the fire services also provide assistance. I've been in contact this morning as well with the mayor of Port of Spain, because now they have workers who understandably are concerned about going to the scenes to remove debris. But what we're seeing come together very, very quickly, only in the space of a few hours, are very, very carefully orchestrated, pre-planned disturbances. And I'm now being told that that may have spread to Cocorita as well. Our intelligence services are picking up these things, The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has the support of the Defence Force, and they will not hesitate to do that all that is in their power to continue to protect and serve and keep the peace in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm appealing as a citizen, as a law-abiding citizen, as one who cares about the country, cares about the city of Port of Spain and the rest of Trinidad and Tobago. Please, our law-abiding citizens, do not allow yourselves to be used by those who have criminal intent in Trinidad and Tobago to disrupt and to disturb the peace. And I'm also giving the assurance that our law enforcement officers, with the support of the Defence Force and our intelligence services, will do all that is necessary to ensure that the law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago are protected and that we maintain the peace and security and safety. So please, do not allow yourselves to be encouraged. Do not participate in the illegal activity. There are ways and means to get your messaging across. Your messaging, even before today, was well received and was being pursued. And that is why, addressing the first issue, I took my time to inform you that there are 2 current active investigations, and I've asked for them to be thorough investigations, one by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and one by the independent statutory body, the Police Complaints Authority, into the incident that took place in Mova that led to the loss of 3 lives by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service on Saturday, the 27th of June. So please, citizens, be assured that we are going to do all that is necessary to continue to maintain the peace. We are very aware that the criminal elements are involved in these disturbances, and we also have the intelligence that there may be persons associating with the criminal elements to disturb the peace and tranquility of Port of Spain. Thank you all very much. I'll take a few questions. Morning there.
Okay. There was a report of shooting incident where a bullet struck, or some projectile struck the officer of the Attorney General and the legal affairs of the country.
Correct. So what we've had this morning is that it appears as though a projectile, appearing to be a bullet from what we've seen, hit, I believe, the 3rd floor of one of the windows at the Ministry of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs. So it's the 3rd floor. Unfortunately, this is not surprising. We have had incidents like this throughout. You all would recall there was the NP offices down in Beetham not too long ago had the same type of incident. Recently, we also had down in Glencoe, the Prime Minister's constituency office had an incident a few months ago, and we have had these incidents. In fact, they're not that infrequent, because indiscriminate shooting, I always say, when persons shoot bullets up in the air, when you shoot a firearm up in the air, the bullet has to come down. All right, so this is something that is not so unusual, but of course is going to be investigated. At this stage, I believe there's no cause for concern, but we are taking all of the necessary cautions, and we're asking persons just to be careful. This is not the first time I've had reports, similar reports in Ministry of Education. Those are tall buildings. We don't have that many tall buildings in Port of Spain, and very often this happens. So what I can say is that we're working assiduously to ensure the safety of persons in and out of Port of Spain. There is right now a measure of inconvenience. In fact, some of my colleagues who were trying to make their way in Port of Spain, I told them, listen, right now there are certain incidents taking place. You all would have seen the videos. The police have had to block both lanes, the western lane and the eastern lane, or rather the northern lane and the southern lane of the Beetham going in and out of Port of Spain is cleared up. We also had incidents at Sea Lots. We had it on the eastern main road by the abattoir, etc. So the police are going to do everything that is necessary to ensure that persons can continue going about their business safely, and you can rest assured of that. The Defence Force are now on the ground providing them with support. I've asked for certain strategic points for us to have some static personnel there to ensure that as well. I'm just asking persons at this time to just be very careful, to be vigilant, don't take unnecessary risks, This is being dealt with, and there is absolutely no need for any panic, and everyone just remain calm. If persons have information, please provide us with the information. I was able to confirm that. I was informed by the police service that Mr. Fuad Abubakar was arrested around the Besor Street police station, and that he may have been part of the activities of stirring up disturbance in that area. But again, I don't get involved in the specifics of the police work. But I was informed by the Commissioner of Police when I inquired that Mr. Fuad Abubakar was detained, and I am assuming that he will go through the normal police process. At this stage, thankfully, no, I don't have any such information. I am trusting and hoping, and it remains that way. And I'll use that opportunity, Mr. Neves, to just call on persons. Just be careful. When persons go with this indiscriminate type of shooting, one, it again re-emphasizes the illegal firearms that we're fighting on the streets out there. All right? And I just besieged or law enforcement officers or Trinidad and Tobago defense officers, be careful. And more importantly for me, the law-abiding citizens, please exercise extra vigilance. Don't go looking to see what is happening, and just stay safe as we do our jobs. I am not sure whether that has happened, whether that happened up to yesterday. I mean, I, like you all, saw what was going on in the Mova junctions, etc., right? Well, I don't think it's the family members protesting, but as I say, I can understand the emotion in a community and the emotion that will be running through the community. So that is something that I will suggest to the authorities, and in particular, I mean, they should meet with the police complaints authority, because I'm sure the family will have their facts that they would want to put forward to the investigative body, and that's something that I would encourage and react. Okay, good. Okay, point taken. Anyone else? Well, I am in a similar position to you all. One, I never interfere with any investigations. The Police Complaints Authority does not report to me, nor does the Police Complaints Authority, when they've concluded any investigation, send the report to the government. When the Police Complaints Authority concludes investigations, as I understand the law, if there's something further to be investigated, they may send it to the Commissioner of Police, or if they have recommendations based on the evidence that they've gathered, they would send it to the Director of Public Prosecutions for him then to either pursue further investigation through the police or to lay charges. This is a phenomenon that we see all over the world. Whenever incidents happen, you always have persons saying they don't express any faith in the thoroughness of the investigation, etc. What I can say is I've spoken to the two persons in charge. I have faith in them, and I believe that they will do all that they can to make sure they're thorough investigations. I can't give an assurance that they're thorough investigations. I always say, unless something is directly in my control. But what I can say is that we are asking that thorough investigations be conducted, and I'm pleading anyone who has information, because there's always information that could assist in these investigations, please take it to the PCA. All right, first of all, let me just correct that. You're not seeing widespread protests over Trinidad. We're seeing them on the outskirts of Port of Spain. All right, well, that's okay, so that is still That is still in the Port of Spain area in the Western Division, but you're seeing it now in Couva. So if that is in fact so, all it does is prove the point that I was making, that this is all orchestrated, and the question we must ask is who is behind it and who is orchestrating it. At the end of the day, as I say, the police service will do what they have to do to maintain the peace and order. So if persons need to be arrested, persons need to be detained, at the end of the day, that's not for me. I'm not on the ground, I'm not the police, but I'm sure that the police will make those decisions. As I said, there is nothing wrong with peaceful protest, there's nothing wrong with persons voicing their opinion and their emotions. Where it steps over the line and becomes illegal activity and it becomes threatening to law-abiding citizens, that is when the police will intervene. Yeah. Correct. So that is something that concerns me. As you know, I've been working very closely with the Ministry of Health, the Minister of Health and his team. And I just want to remind people, we are in the middle of a COVID pandemic. We've done a good job, a reasonable job, and we have satisfactory results here in Trinidad and Tobago that we don't have, at this stage, COVID spreading in the communities. This type of activity could lead to it. I mean, we've seen recently what has gone on in other areas of the world, and now you're seeing massive spikes in some countries where they had these types of protests. So I'm just asking people to continue to be reasonable, continue to abide by the law, but at the end of the day, let's be sensible.
Piggybacking on Janelle's point, we've noticed that these protests, you know, that they're orchestrated, are popping up in particular areas which, let's be frank, are controlled by different factions. They seem to have come together today, or at least coordinate themselves together today to conduct this action. Is this something that is being considered by the protective services and the measures?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is, something that is being analyzed, is something that is being looked at. As at this moment, I don't have any report in front of me that suggests that they're commingling, that is the various gang fractions. But you've said it yourself, and you've just confirmed what it is I'm saying, that the criminal elements are behind this. So this is not the peaceful protest by law-abiding citizens of something that they feel a need to talk about. You have just confirmed exactly what we are picking up, that the criminal elements are using the opportunity to create disturbance, illegal disturbance, not peaceful protest. I saw a video. This is now the subject of two investigations, one by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and one by the Police Complaints Authority. I think it would be wrong for me to express my personal view. Obviously, I have personal views, but I don't want to influence any particular investigation going on out there. The Commissioner of Police, there are different alert levels and different bodies that have alert levels. So yes, the Commissioner of Police this morning raised the alert level in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to a red alert, and that brings with it certain follow-on consequences, mean all police out, leave suspended, and then all resources out, and this type of thing. So yes, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, rightly so, have raised the red alert. That is the sole discretion of the Commissioner of Police, and he will make the judgment calls, and it's something I support. Okay, any other questions? Thank you all very much for coming at such short notice, and also adhering to the social distancing health protocols. It's much appreciated. And I just conclude by asking everyone to continue to stay safe, stay vigilant, and in particular, I'll re-emphasize and reiterate my call and my plea for anyone with information pertaining to the incident that took place on Saturday, the 27th of June in the Movar area that led to the fatality of 3 of our citizens. Please do go forward and give that information to the Police Complaints Authority. To those law-abiding citizens who want to voice their opinions, you're free to do so. Do not allow yourselves to be encouraged or used by the criminal elements in our society. Thank you all very much. I appreciate your time.